In this video we are going to talk about 10 things you didn't know about LeBron James. So before starting this video, like this video and subscribe to our YouTube channel for future updates. Since high school, LeBron has been the center of attention. Before he ever entered the 2003 draft, he was labeled the next Michael Jordan by the media. Basketball fans have witnessed LeBron James mature into a man, emerging as an all-time great athlete and, more recently, a community leader. Despite the fact that LeBron's every action is covered by the media, there are some truths about him that most people are unaware of. It's hard to believe that, although LeBron's dinner plans may generate news, important details about his career remain hidden. Some of these details will astound you. Most of us were unaware of LeBron's special abilities and skills. Many people will be astonished to learn about the many situations LeBron faced as a result of his single mother's financial difficulties. Here are some facts about LeBron James that you probably didn't know. Number 10. He could have been an NFL star. At St. Vincent-St. Mary High School, LeBron was a true dual-sport standout, excelling in both basketball and football. In his third season, he played wide receiver and led his team to the state semifinals, as well as being named to the All-State team his sophomore year. Many people have questioned whether James would have made it in the NFL given his success. Although a fantastic skill, the nature of football, which makes it more difficult for individual players to shine as brightly as dominant basketball stars, would have inevitably confined LeBron to a role as a top receiver at best. He made the right decision by sticking with basketball and developing into the best player of his generation. Number 9. His parents have both done time in jail. Despite the fact that he grew up without a father figure, LeBron was influenced by a stepfather called Eddie Jackson. James served 3 years in prison for cocaine trafficking in 1990, but that hasn't stopped him from emphasizing the importance of having a father figure in his life. Gloria James, his mother, was once imprisoned for a week, albeit her case is significantly easier to sympathize with because she was just charged with petty disorderly behavior. She has kept out of trouble in the past and afterwards, and LeBron has always been vocal about his mother's importance in his success. Number 8. A broken wrist at high school almost changed NBA history. James broke his wrist in the summer of 2002, a year before graduating from high school and entering the NBA draft. Despite his non-shooting wrist, if the injury had not healed properly, it could have had a significant impact on his subsequent achievements, and reportedly brought to an end his football playing days. According to rumors, LeBron's injury was repaired by Michael Jordan's personal orthopedist, which, if genuine, demonstrates the enormous faith in LeBron's skill from a young age. The fact that such tremendous lengths were made to ensure his admittance into the league demonstrates the significance of his talent and the widespread awareness of it. Number 7. The profits of the decision went to charity. The Decision, a 1-hour television special in which James announced his contentious move to the Miami Heat, was widely panned for its attention-getting, overdone tone, but it did have one redeeming feature. The Boys and Girls Club of America received all of the proceeds from the widely viewed special, displaying LeBron's charitable side. Due to the massive scope of his move, which has been described as one of the most controversial and widely publicized incidents in American sporting history, this fact was mostly forgotten. Number 6. He's not really the heir to Jordan. Although several outstanding players of the 21st century, LeBron, Kobe, Wade, have been compared to Michael Jordan, James is uneasy with the comparison. Despite being a tremendous fan of Michael Jordan as a kid, James' style of play is nowhere like as close to Jordan's as, say, Kobe Bryant's. While Air Jordan was no stranger to the rim, LeBron's runaway steam train act has caused many to proclaim him the most physically unstoppable guy in NBA history. Oscar Robertson is a player who is significantly more correctly recognized as LeBron's replacement. The two men have a comparable dynamic style, as well as a number of honors that are unique to them. They are the only two men in NBA history to average at least 27 points, 6 rebounds, and 6 assists in each of the last 7 seasons, and they are both known for their versatility. James' decision to join the Miami Heat was influenced by the notion that he would be able to focus on assists and rebounds instead of pure points, seeking to become only the second player in NBA history to average a triple-double over the course of a season. Oscar Robinson was the first, in 1961/2. Number 5. He considers handshakes to be very important. One of the most impressive idiosyncrasies in the NBA is LeBron's love of secret handshakes. He's said to have exchanged a secret handshake with every member of every squad he's ever been on, though it's unclear how he recalls so many sequences of high fives, hand grips, and shoulder bumps. NBA players aren't the only ones who get James tremors. He also exchanges a secret greeting with JayZ, one of music's most guarded guys. Number 4. JayZ wrote a song defending him. When it comes to JayZ, he once wrote a diss track for Soulja Boy, who had sought to provoke Hobart into a verbal brawl. Jay said in the song's lyrics that he was simply so huge reply, evoking a similar feud between LeBron and Washington Wizards player Stephenson, who had called James overrated. Despite losing to LeBron and the Cavaliers in the 2008 playoffs, Stephenson arguably had the last laugh when his Dallas Mavericks defeated James' Miami Heat 4-2 to win the NBA championship in 2011. Number 3. He's actually left-handed. There may be no sight in modern basketball more recognizable than LeBron James capping a fast break with a thundering right-handed jam, yet many fans may be surprised to learn that the king is actually a lefty. Despite the fact that he shoots the basketball with his right hand, LeBron eats and writes with his left. Number 2. He's part of a three-person club. Despite his many accomplishments, LeBron James' most peculiar and bizarrely impressive fact is that he is one of only 3 athletes in NBA history to switch teams after earning the MVP award. His departure from Cleveland to Miami in 2010 occurred after a successful season, although one punctuated by a lackluster playoff run that saw his Cavaliers eliminated by the Boston Celtics. Wilt Chamberlain left the Philadelphia 76ers after an MVP season in 1968, accepting a lucrative deal with the Los Angeles Lakers, while the imposing figure of Moses Malone arrived from the Houston Rockets as an upcoming most valuable player in the summer of 1982. While all 3 men would go on to win championships with their new clubs, Malone was the only one who did so on his first try. Number 1. He's a Chicago Bulls fan. Cleveland sports fans are among the most unhappy in the country, as their favorite Browns, Braves, and Indians have failed to win a championship since 1962, in which the Browns scooped an NFL championship 5 years before the inaugural Super Bowl. Despite having a proud Ohio ancestry, LeBron will not have shared such anguish because he backed none of the city's best. James, like many of his generation, grew up idolizing Michael Jordan and hence supported the Chicago Bulls. This may be especially painful for Cavaliers supporters, given MJ's last-second buzzer beater in the first round of the 1989 NBA playoffs took off a very good Cleveland team, a shot simply nicknamed the Shot due to its fame. In other sports, James is an enthusiastic supporter of both the Dallas Cowboys and the New York Yankees, signaling a preference for huge, historically successful franchises over his own hometown teams. He is, however, the only man capable of turning his city's fortunes around with a long-awaited NBA title. If this is the case, only time will tell. What do you think about this video? Do let us know down in the comments section below. If you enjoyed this video and want to hear from us again, be sure to hit that subscribe button before you go.